That Farbrengen of the second day of Shavuos, Tovshin Lamed Aleph, where the Rebbe spoke that you have to be kavish, you have to conquer the world with Torah. And the Rebbe explained that that means you have to change your mahus, that you have to change from being a Bal Esek, which means a person of business or a working person, to being a Yeshveil, to a person of Torah. And it has to change your whole mahus. So the Rebbe continued and spoke about the women, that it's up to them that they should see it should happen. So the Rebbe said, like Bechal, anything or any change or anything that you do in the house has to go through the Akeres Habayis, the wife. You have to have that she should be maskim. But in this case, the Rebbe says she should be maskim is not enough. She has to have a rotzen, she has to want it. And it's not enough that she really wants it, but it has to be in such a way that if the husband or the brother doesn't want it, she's me'ered in the form of kavod, in an honorable way, respectful way, but she has to be me'ered. Like it says, Ezo yishik sheira, what's called a kosher, a fine woman, a good woman that does the husband's will. And Chassidus teaches, it doesn't mean that she does what he wants. She makes the rotzen, she makes up the proper rotzen that the husband should have. If he doesn't have the right rotzen, she makes up it should have. And the same thing here, that she should be the one to be me'ered the husband, that he should become a yeshevel instead of a Bal Esek. And by Matan Torah B'chal we find that before the Eibusha gave the Torah, there was a hachana, and the hachana was Koi Soimer Lebeis Yaakov V'Sagad Lebnei Yisrael, that first you have to speak to the women, and it's up to them that they should see that things should happen properly. And the Rebbe continued and said that the woman, the wife, should not only be the one to ask her husband the teikev very strongly, B'dar K'neim, B'dar K'sholem, has to be in a peaceful way, but very teikev. But even in a case where she feels it'll have an effect on her, her lifestyle will have to change. Because when she sees her husband adding and learning Torah normally, so it doesn't really change her physical lifestyle. It's not such a big thing that it's not something we're expecting something special from her. But when she will see that her husband changed his whole tchunet, before he was a Bal Esek, he slept like a Bal Esek, he learned like a Bal Esek, everything by him was like a Bal Esek, like a businessman. And therefore she was guaranteed with a lifestyle of a Bal Esek, of a businessman. And here suddenly she sees he became a yeshiva bacher. And that could change the whole lifestyle from beginning to end. So even that, she has to ask her husband and want her husband to do it. Because it doesn't mean that he has to change his way, his whole day of what he does. But like we said, the Rebbe said, like he said, that even if it changes 1 hour, that 1 hour that he learns, he becomes like a yeshiva bacher. He doesn't learn like he learned before, or he doesn't learn like a person who runs a bank, or a kaiman kerer. A kaiman kerer is someone who cleans chimneys, or he doesn't learn like a shuster, which is a shoemaker, not even like a president of the United States. And the Rebbe said that every person, every yid could become a president of the United States. Al Piteira, he couldn't, even according to the government, he could also become a president of the United States. If you have the right to vote, and the Rebbe said the word vote, not in Yiddish, not only Yiddish stimmen, but even to vote, you become a president. So when you were a Bal Esek, you were shayches to all these inyonim. You could even win a lottery. But now, you change your lifestyle. You forgot about everything. And the Rebbe said, he'll think about it. Listen to what's going on here. That he became such a level that it doesn't bother him. The Eilam HaMischa, the world of business, he doesn't care about. Like it says, Yikorahim Ipninim, that it's more precious than pearls, even than simple pearls. And how do you see that? That by him, he doesn't care about it? Because when he's learning, he's in such a level that he doesn't even pick up the phone. See, normally, when you're matzia, when you offer a certain business deal and he doesn't answer, could be he has a better deal, could be some other reason. But if you don't even answer the phone and you don't know what's on the other side of the phone, then that's kolokol hakitzin. That's the extreme. It's mamish, he's living like he lives in the desert, like we lived in Midbar Sinai in the desert. There was no telephone, no radio, and there was no newspaper. They were not even goyim there. So the woman could think in her mind, so at kedekach, that's really too much. Maybe she could forgo going twice to Florida. She'll only go once. And the Rebbe said, normally you go twice to Florida. She'll give up once. Then the Rebbe said, I sound like a battling. That's why I'm saying you go twice to Florida, because the truth is you don't go twice to Florida. They go once to Florida, and the second time, they go someplace else. But I don't know where, so therefore I'm not saying I mentioned Florida. And when they chazer over what I'm saying here, they could add which are the places that the people go. And the Rebbe says, I don't mind that my cover that people will say I'm a battler, that I don't know about this. But anyway, the Rebbe said that even she's a Ishak Sheira, that forgoes on going to Florida completely. and doesn't care about what the neighbor says, because her husband is a Baal Torah. And she'll say that she is completely taken away from the Veltish Inyonim and becomes Yisrael, Eiraisa v'kuchabricho, kul echad. That's something that's hard for her to take. So therefore the Rebbe said, I'm saying that you need her askome, because you can't expect that just stam azay that it'll happen that she's maskim. You need her real askome. She should be maskim, and maskim in a nice way. And the Torah says that if she is maskim, it'll work. Like it says, first you talk to the woman, then sagid lebedisol to the men. And then the Rebbe said there is the gishmak taich of the Marsho. He says that what does it mean? Poshup Pshat is this is what you should talk to Beis Yaakov, which is the woman, and this and the other way is to talk to Bnei Yisrael, to the men. But the Marsho says it means Beis Yaakov should speak to the women so much that they should be able to talk to the men. In other words, that the woman will have the hashpah on the men, that we rely on the woman, that she will be able to pile on her husband. That's why she's called Beis Yaakov. If it means woman, they should have said Noshim. Because we're talking here not to the women as women stam, but as women who are the Beis Yaakov. They are the house. This is the house. This is the foundation of the Yiddish house. And when the woman does this, then it'll have a hashpah on the men, and the men take will be in that level that they will be no more Bale Esek, but become Yeshevel. Their whole mahus will change, and the Gashmias and all the Esokim will not be Teifes Mokim at all.